Let me check the stream. Let me check the audio. Make sure that's working out. All right, audio sounds good to me. Audio sounds good there. We are on Twitch. Nelly INKS on Twitch. Nelly INKS. Let's check out the YouTube. If you go to Nelly space INKS on YouTube, you'll find me. Live drawing with Nelly. I'm your boy. Let's see. Audio sounds good on YouTube. Only thing I need to figure out here is how to maybe open up another audio track so I can have some background music, so it's not just me talking. But I'll try to fill the dead air as best as I can. Let me check the Facebook for everyone listening on Facebook. Hold on a second. Let's see. Hello, hello. Facebook looks a little laggy. Maybe it's just taking a second to load up. Sounds good. Oh, a little laggy here on YouTube. Okay. That's fine. Let's get back and just make sure the chat is working. If you guys are listening or watching, feel free to hit up the chat. It says we got 4 people watching, which is incredible. Look at that. Mr. Popular over here. All right. It says 3 people watching on Facebook. That's good. Let me know if you're in the chat section. Hit me up. I want to just make sure it's working. Second stream. All right. Let me know if you guys see my messages back. Let me know. Do you guys see that? I guess you guys see that. You gotta be able to see that. I'm not sure if you see that on Facebook actually. But hello. Okay, that goes to Facebook for some reason, or that goes to, let me see if that goes to Facebook. Hold on a second. Alright, no, I don't want to share this right now. Comment. Well, can't see it on Facebook. That's weird. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. That's strange. Oh, I see. That's weird. Hold on a second. Let's try this again. Read only. Weird. Okay. Why is it read only for Facebook? All right, we'll just figure this out as we go along. All right, that works. I see most of the messages. Let me go to the YouTube. All right. 4 people watching on Facebook. Appreciate you all listening and tuning in. Second stream of our channel. You can find me on twitch.tv/nellyinks. I am also on YouTube. If you look up Nelly INKS, Nelly space INKS, I'll be on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook, on my personal channel. But hopefully I'll be getting this on my page soon. Give me 1 second. All right. So today I thought I would do a little live drawing. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this for because I think the best way to do live drawing on these streams is to have a tablet. At the moment, I'm not functioning with one. I got my face in the picture. But appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys are doing all right during quarantine. It's really tough out there for a lot of people. But yeah, with all the free time we got on our hands, we set up this channel, and hopefully we can provide some content, some banter, some giggles. Let me see what else I need to be looking at here. All right, I got my chat up here if you guys want. Interact with your boy. We have our, if you guys want to support the channel, we have our donation links up. You guys have options of Venmo. You can Venmo me at Nelly INKS. You guys can also check out our Cash App. If you use that instead, it's $Nelly INKS. There's also my website, which I've been trying to promote as much as possible now that these new comics are available. Let me go to OBS because I can't see it. Oh, these new comics, actually, here we go. Boom. This is the new comic. It's on nellyinks.com. Nelson, Nelson, initial A, and then my last name, Nunez, Nunez, nelsonanunez.com. If you guys want, you can order these comics. I'll put out my camera too. Look at that. You guys can order these comics on Nelson A. Nunez. It is my life's work. I made this over the summer last year. If you guys can support, if you guys want to get your own copy, they're available on Nelson A. Nunez. You guys could get it delivered. Otherwise, they're available online for free, to read for free. If you'd like to donate, there are links there. Or like I said, you guys could check out the Venmo. Venmo at Nelly INKS or Cash App $Nelly INKS. And again, I'm on twitch.tv/Nelly INKS and YouTube Nelly INKS. We also have a Twitter at Nelly INKS. Everything Nelly INKS. All right. So something very simple we're going to do today. Let me see if it tells me how long I've been streaming this for right here. 7 minutes ago. Cool. Awesome. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up like you'll hear me and see me do now. You should see that thumbs up go turn blue. Make sure you subscribe. All right. So I thought we'd do something really easy, something you guys can do at home with a pencil and paper. Oh my gosh. All right. I got to get the hang of this, but here we go. So with pencil, paper, pencil, what else will you guys want? I prefer these Blackwing pencils. This is what I use normally. I don't know if you guys can see it there. Maybe here. No, over here. Blackwing. Blackwing pencils. They're the best. They're my favorite, at least. Something else you guys can do with your pencils. Us artists normally, shave it down so you could see a little more of the lead as opposed to that when you just sharpen it. Either way works. You just have a little more control if you have it like this. What you guys can do, however, to get that tip, you're going to need an X-Acto knife and your pencil, and just basically shave down the tip. Be careful, obviously. Like that. Boom. Until you get something like this. And then just go around it, keep shaving it down. Okay. I'm hearing a little background audio. Might have to turn down the volume. Hold on a second. If I could turn down the volume. I think it's coming from the kitchen, actually. Okay. So with your X-Acto knife, you're going to just do that. Pretty easy. You don't really need too much more for what we're doing anyways. Somewhere here, I would have... I think it fell on the floor. Let's see. I should have...
There's nothing in the kitchen.
Could you turn it down? Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, normally I would have sandpaper handy. With the sandpaper, you would just go down and sharpen that tip. Not a big deal, though. It's going to sharpen down anyways as we get into it like this. All right. Let me get back to my home page here. Cool. So basically for this project, I'm going to do a quick self-portrait. I might even just time myself so I don't ramble on too long. I'm going to put on maybe a 10-minute timer for what I do. But yeah, pencil, paper, and you're just going to need a mirror like this. You guys can either bring a notebook to inside the bathroom, take a look in the mirror in the bathroom, or if you have one handy like this, you could get this at the dollar store as long as you're practicing social distancing and washing your hands and covering up. But yeah, I'm going to just set this up on my desk up here. Voila. So I can see myself pretty good there. I'm going to... All right. My uncle's in the chat. ¿Cómo estás? Dios te bendiga. Cuando puedas me llamas. Te quiero. Te llamo después. Tío, muchas gracias por escuchar. Okay, I'm going to take off my headphones real quick. And hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm only doing that so I can see my ears here. I have very small ears, so it doesn't really help too much. But I normally like to start these drawings from the ear. The ear tells a lot about just sort of where your facial features line up. If you just go around... I got some family in the chat. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful to hear from you too, Linda. Thank you for joining. So I have... With your ears, you basically, from the top of your ear, you can line up to the top of your eyebrows if you just go straight across. And from the bottom of your ear, you pretty much line up to the bottom of your nose. So that's why I like to start there. And then your ear hole, or the auditory meatus, if you want to get scientific, that lines up to the bridge of your nose, sort of like the bottom of your eyes. And that's why I like to start with my ears. That just helps me sort of locate things in perspective. You're not going to really need all of that. I'm going to try to keep this lesson plan, this lesson pretty simple, you know, and we're going to try to be kid friendly so you guys can watch these videos with your family, young ones, while you guys are all quarantined up. So what else can I say? Set up your mirror, whether you're doing it with a portable mirror like that, or if you're going in the bathroom. One thing you could do if you're in the bathroom, your face might move, or you might be playing around with different expressions. You might want to bring a piece of tape or a roll of tape and stick it to the mirror, maybe a piece of tape for where the bottom of your chin is, and maybe a piece of tape for where the top of your forehead is. Hey there, bud. My name is Vibe, and I followed. Bale is amazing. Bale is amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. On Twitch. I mess with the Afro. Bob Ross inspiration. Hey, yes, sir. Thanks for joining. Um, all right. You guys know we have the Twitch at slash Nelly INKS, NELLYINKS. Make sure you follow me on Twitter as well. And if you want, you can donate. We do have a YouTube bail. It's if you just look up Nelly space Inks, it should be under live drawing with Nelly. We'll be there as well. Really appreciate it. Second stream of this channel, official stream. This is our first time drawing, so hopefully all of this shows up. If I do that, I think that's okay. Not the best quality, unfortunately, but that should be okay. But yeah, Bob Ross is an inspiration to many. If you guys like the contents of this video, make sure you donate. You could go to Venmo at Nelly INKS or Cash App $Nelly INKS. Also, like I said, we have these wonderful comics that we just made over the summer, last summer, sort of our post graduate school thesis comic. My first full-length comic, 17 pages. You guys could go to Nelson A. Nunez, Nunez. My man said he subbed. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys could go to Nelson A. Nunez if you guys want to see the comic. That's NelsonANunez.com. These comics are available digitally for free on that website. Otherwise, if you guys want to get it delivered, you guys can do that too. And yeah, let's get it going. So, pencil, paper, mirror, very small mirror, very tough to see. There's a few ways you could do this. One way that could be quick, maybe we could do a 5-minute sketch. One way you could do it is the I guess a contour method where you don't lift your pencil, so you keep your pencil on the paper and just try to draw as much as you can without lifting your pencil. You could maybe do a couple drawings on this. Cool. There's a few ways to do it. All right, let's set a timer so we don't get too carried away with ourselves. Appreciate everyone listening. Bill is amazing. Linda, Ramon, we got Grace listening in. Everyone really appreciate it. Let's get into it. 12 people watching. Make sure you guys comment. If you want to support the channel, my Venmo and Cash App links are on the screen. If you guys are just listening in, I appreciate that as well. I'm going to put in a 5-minute timer and see what happens. This first drawing I'm just going to do by keeping the pencil. Let me see where the four corners of. Okay. So keeping the pencil on the paper without lifting it. Let's do a 5-minute timer. Cool. Awesome. So like I said, I like to start with my ear. So that's kind of tucked away there. But I'm going to do this without lifting the pencil. So here we go. Bottom of the ear. Cool. Maybe I should do that a little bigger. I have small ears, so it's hard to exaggerate. But I'm not lifting the pencil here. So there's the top of the ear, and I'm sort of going to follow my beard a little bit and then go down the back of my neck and then going out to the side a little bit. Kristen in the chat watching on Facebook with the child. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right. So back to the bottom of the neck. I'm going to go back up. And what I normally like to do, either start with the ear and then go down. My neck goes, well, into the traps over here on the side. You could even bring it out a little bit more. And then down, the neck goes a little bit further down here for me. And what I like to do is normally get the mask of the face, this whole area here. So my drawing is going from my ear over, I went down, and now I'm gonna go back up to follow my hairline. So hairline goes in, sort of follows that way without lifting your pencil, guys. And then my hairline is not very defined. There it is. And we're gonna go across. Think about your widths here. How far do you want to make this length here? So your width is gonna go across like that. And then going down. My face is a little turned. So then we go in. This part here is sort of like for the eye socket here. And going back out for your cheek. If you take a look at where this cheekbone is in relation to your ear, the bottom of my cheekbone here lines up to the bottom of my ear, my left ear. If you go across, but I'm not going to lift the pencil, keep it going. So now we go down. And then as you go down, before you turn, think about, before you make the turn, as you follow this angle here, which is just my cheek here, as you go down before you get to the bottom of your face, which is your chin, just sort of think about this angle. I'm gonna put my my finger down. Oh my God, the sharpness on the screen. I look like Deadpool on the screen here. But that's okay. My hands do not look like that. I'm okay. I'm all right. Do not send medics over. I do not have jaundice. But what you want to do is think about this angle from before you turn into your chin over to your ear. Just keep in mind sort of those distances and those angles. I'm going to put the pencil down to continue our contour drawing. And a minute left on this. So we're going to go here. Think about, so that's your chin here. Think about how long this should be. For all these points where you turn, refer to maybe where exactly this point is in relationship to maybe this point up here. And then as you come across, this point up here. So on my chin, it lines up here, and that seems pretty good. Now I'm going to try to follow this contour back up and into my beard. So that's step one here. I'm going to turn off the timer. So let's put on another 5-minute timer here. Boom. All right. So maybe I should be able to do this in 10 minutes. That's basically step one. I like to get the mask of the face, and I'm a little turned too, so I'm going to try to maintain that. All right. So now for the facial features. So like I said, your ears are pretty good for seeing where the top of your ear more or less lines up with actually your pupils. So if you follow this across, and you'll pretty much get there. Okay. So actually we're going to do it by keeping our pencil down. So the way I'm set up here, this line here, the side of my hair lines up pretty close to my eyebrows here. Think about how much space this is in your drawing. I wish I could, I think that's okay. Think about how big this space here between the top of your head, your hairline, and the top of your eyebrow here. So as you go down, you have well, I'm not lifting my pencil for the sake of this project. So we're gonna go across, up, and then down. Everyone's got very different eyebrows. Mine sort of go up like this and then sort of just straight down. Some people have maybe a little more hair on this side. I have maybe a little denser over here. And then we go down. Again, we're not lifting our pencil, so let's wrap up this eye right here. What you want to do in my drawing or in the mirror, I see a little bit of a shadow that I can sort of connect my eyebrow to since I'm not lifting my pencil. You can sort of, this area here is the shadow in my drawing. It's not, the shadow is not as strong as the color of my eyebrows, but for this very short lesson, it's not really going to matter. I think you'll be able to distinguish by the end of this. We'll see. So if I go down, I come right here. So think about, I'm about to draw maybe a line for my tear duct or just a marker for my tear duct here on my eye, this eye. Boom, right there, your tear duct. So as you do that, make sure you refer to sort of like the first lines that you made. So in my mirror, my tear duct and the top of my ear, which you don't really see. So I'm gonna try to maintain. So yeah, my tear duct should maybe be a little lower right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go up and there's two lines here. You're normally gonna see the lines here for your eyelids, and mine's pretty pronounced. Think about where things line up. When you're about to finish a line and get to a certain point, just refer to the sides, left and right and up and down, and make sure things line up accurately. So my eye goes, or the line for my eyelid kind of lines up to the peak of my eyebrow. So I'm not going to go too far. And I also want to think about the negative space here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on a second. Okay, I think that works pretty good. All right, hold on. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, so how it lines up here, and we're gonna try to preserve this space here. If you guys can see that, maybe I'll move this over. Okay, should be pretty good. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more and move this over to the side as well. Okay, I think that should be pretty good. All right, so let's get back to our point. Hopefully, okay. I'm gonna set another 5-minute timer. Seems like we'll have a 20-minute drawing here. We'll see when we finish. So here we go. Without lifting my pencil, I've been able to make the mask of my face, and then coming back up to my ear, I went up to my eyebrows. Think about the shape of your eyebrows. Very simple lines. And then we get over to our eyelid, which I said is a separate line from your actual eye here. And then I stop here. Now I'm going to connect right to my, the bottom of your eyelid, I guess, covering the top of your eye. And there's a little sliver of space between those two lines. So we're going to try to respect that as best as possible. And we're going to go down. And just think about where you want to stop that. I'm going to stop this right here. Boom. And that's going to be the space for your tear duct. So there's I'm going to just make a really dark mark right here for the tear duct. Okay. And then that's going to connect to the bottom of my eye. Make sure you guys keep in mind where that tear duct lines up in relation to your ear. So that tear duct lines up to the top of my ear, so I think that's pretty good. And then we're gonna go following that sort of line here. It's sort of like a long smile, just a semicircle, sort of flat, almost a flat circle here. And then connect back to my eyelashes. There you go. So trying to not lift my pencil here, but just going over some last marks, some of my older marks. I'm gonna go back up here and maybe darken these lines up here. Cool. So we've got that. Miss Stevens in the chat, thanks for joining. All right. So we're here. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So we just finished our one of our eyes. If you guys want, there's also it depends how much detail you really want. Drawing is fun, so I could do this for hours, maybe just minutes before I need a break. But there's also your eyelashes on the bottom, which is sort of how you had the top line up here for the start of your eyelids. You also have a bottom line here that I'm gonna just do very faintly to get back to the bridge of our nose. Cool. So this line here is sort of just for your eyelashes. Some people maybe get a little darker on their eyelashes. You could just do that. So then that's going to connect us back over here. And if you squint a little bit, you'll notice that more lines in the shape of like shadows and shadow shapes. If you squint, just go like that a little bit, you'll see in your drawing or in the mirror if you're doing this at home, you'll see more lines appear in the form of like a shadow shape. So if you squint, you're gonna see those shadows on the bridge of your nose going just straight down. I'm trying to think where exactly this shadow starts. So that line goes kind of straight down, maybe here to the side of my nose, right before my nostril. And that in the mirror lines up to the bottom of my ear. So I'm going to keep going down to the bottom of my ear there. Cool. And then this part of yeah. So it's almost lateral movement. I'm going to do that. All right. Now we're on my nostril, and that is pretty much lined up with I'm gonna go out even further. That's pretty much lined up to my tear duct here on my, I guess, right eye. Oh, okay. Let's put another 5-minute timer. Hopefully finish our facial features, and I'll take a 5-minute break and then do the last part. Cool. So, also think about that space from this nostril up to the tear duct here. Kind of this whole area here is all side of the nose. Everything right here, this sort of shape that I marked is going to be the side of your nose. Think about how far this distance is. Okay. You might actually even see, I'm a little tired, so you can definitely see sort of like what would be my eye socket. Just because I didn't get a lot of sleep, you can actually just see a little dark spot for your eye sockets. My eye socket kind of ends here. So think about these spaces. How far down? You don't want to make your nose too long, but you don't want to make it too short either, okay? So think about those spaces. Maybe if you use 2 points, that's pretty good. So I have my nostril here. I could refer to my tear duct to get that point. But if you use your tear duct, your nostril, and the outside of your eye over here, that I'm pointing at right now, we can do something called triangulation, and that will give you, oh, that'll give you this triangle shape that you can also refer to on your mirror. Just sort of as a way to see like, oh, this triangle shape is actually bigger if I look in the mirror, or it's smaller. Since I'm the best artist in the world, I got it perfectly, but I'm just joking. But no, but yeah, let's keep this simple though. Don't think too much about it. Just be aware of those sort of negative spaces. I'm gonna erase this line though because there's not really a line that actually that we can actually, it's there's no shadow or anything that I can look at to recreate that line. So let's go back to our nostril here, and all right, so I'm gonna actually erase down a little bit here. Cool. All right, so nostrils are a little tough, noses are a little tough. If you want, you can, we're gonna keep doing the, keeping our pencil down. All right, if you squint a little bit, maybe some more marks will appear. I'm gonna go across and then get to the middle of our nose. The midpoints of every, feature, whether it's like the center of your face, all the midpoints are very important. If I were to, how my face is turned, I got to make sure those midpoints are just a little bit to the left and not clip to the center, or else we won't get that turning of my face. Cool. So there's that. I'm gonna go to that midpoint and then I'm gonna shoot out to get the bottom of my nostril. To me, that shape sort of looks like even like a smaller shape of my eye here. Yeah, I think you guys can see that shape there. Yeah, cool. All right, so this line tucks under the nostril and then out, and then underneath my nostril is the bottom of my nose. That goes back up and then there. So now we can follow across again without lifting your pencil. This other nostril is just a little bit smaller. We don't have the tear duct on that side, so maybe we should do that. But maybe just use this point and our cheekbone here and just think about how far that space might be from here to the outside of your cheek. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Feel free to erase too, no big deal. Okay, so there's that. Then we go underneath and then just maybe excavate a little bit. Boom. All right. Now I'm going to squint a little bit just to pick up some of those shadow shapes. That's the end of 20 minutes, but I want to get the facial features done. On the other hand, we can also, I think this nose is just a little wide, but let's go back to the bottom of my nose. Just keep going down. And here's where it gets interesting because I have a lot of facial hair at the moment because of quarantine. So what you can do, this might be a little more fun for me. No real drawing technique here, and like I said, this is a contour drawing, so we're not lifting our pencil. And for the sake of, for time's sake, you better draw that nose. Robin in the chat, thank you. But yeah, so we're just gonna do something a little fun here for anyone with facial hair. I'm just going to, without lifting my pencil, and maybe I can't really talk through all of this, but I'm going to just follow my facial hair as I get down here and I get pretty close to the side. I kind of have these little spaces here between my mustache and my beard, But I'm going to go down here, and then my facial hair, my beard kind of also meets up here. But I'm going to keep going down, following my mustache, and then think about what angle really is this, and then how it relates to the side of my nostril here. And again, triangulation, if you put this line down, I don't think you can see that, but I have the line for my mustache, the bottom part of my nose, and if you make a line from this nostril to the side of your mustache, then you can see maybe what that shape of that triangle and how big it should be. Again, you can actually see a line there because when you do that. So, seems pretty good. All right, so now I am important lines for your mouth. Okay, I'm just trying to think how. So I'm on the side of my mouth here. I want to look up from there. So if I look up in the mirror, the side of my mouth doesn't really run into anything if I go straight up from that point. It actually meets sort of like the side of my pupil up here, but we haven't drawn that, so we're gonna just stick with this. Important features for your mouth, obviously the side of your mouth. That's gonna give you sort of the width, the top of your mouth, and then the bottom, the top of your lip basically, and the bottom of your lip over here. So we have one side. It's really tough to talk and draw your mouth at the same time, by the way. So I'm going to do this without talking, but I'm going to keep my mouth closed. It's probably easier to do that. And here we go. I'm going to draw a line basically from one side of my mouth to the other because my mouth will be closed. And here we go. Okay. Now, with that in mind, you can actually go ahead and draw the top of your lip. Not the top of your lip, but your upper lip, I guess. Okay. So we've got that. Think about where this other side of this point here for the side of your mouth is. As you go up, does it hit your nostril when you're looking in the mirror? You can, we might as well do this now. Make sure you just mark where your last line was. We've pretty much done this drawing without lifting our pencil. So one thing you could do, let's say maybe using my webcam, I want to see, sorry, I don't want to get too much in my screen. Okay, well, I want to see, oops. I want to see where maybe this side of my mouth lines up. If you put, you might see people in a drawing session going like this and seeing what's going on. You're wondering what they're doing. They're pretty much just measuring. They're using this as a straight edge so they can see where certain things line up. So maybe like the side of your mouth in the webcam, it kind of lines up with my pupils there. Okay, or maybe the side of your head, your forehead, your temple here. I can't really straighten this line. It goes down and kind of meets my chin before it flattens out and turns. So you can use that to just sort of gauge the angle and the pitch, which is another word for angle of your features on your face, or anything really. I've been doing this for 20 minutes and I really want to finish these facial features, so let's keep it going. All right, 5 people watching, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe. You guys can donate to the channel if you'd like. I really appreciate it. Tough times for everyone, so I understand. But if you like this content and you want to see more, one way you can let me know that you do so is by hitting the Venmo and donating. My Venmo is at Nelly INKS. NELLYINKS at Nelly INKS, or if you have Cash App, it's $ Nelly INKS. My website, where you guys can get this wonderful comic that I've created. If you guys are a fan of comics and graphic novels, I'm an illustrator, so I like to draw comics, and I'm working on a new one. This first one, chapter 1, is called Almighty Alma. It's pretty much a one-shot comic. It's pretty much a one-shot. First time doing a full-length 17-page comic. You see the title there, Almighty Alma. It's available for free on my website, nellyinks.com. You'll see the cover page. Just click there. It's available digitally for free, but if you like a copy like this one, we've got copies printed. We also have them available online. If you order, you could just put in your shipping info and you'll get that delivered to you. Or just read it online for free. And if you want to support, you can donate on the Venmo and Cash App. The link's up there on my webcam, on my feed. So let's get back into it. Let me just check out the chats, make sure I'm not missing anything else. All right. Hold on, guys. All right. Let's get back into it. Okay. Cool. Appreciate the thumbs up on the YouTube. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. It helps with the visibility of this channel. And if you're on YouTube as well, make sure you hit the bell icon to get notifications for the next time we go live. All right. Bring up the chat. Okay, so last time we were drawing, we were on the side of my mouth here, going up, and we might as well finish the facial hair because I have a lot of it, and it's going to tell me a lot of things. Facial hair kind of works like shadow shapes. If you draw them in, you kind of get a better sense of just what's going on and what shapes and what fits and just a lot of things. So I'm going to follow my facial hair. My mustache here goes down just a little bit, and then there's sort of like a sliver here, and then it goes, kind of goes way back actually. Oh gosh. I've got a receding beard over here. All right. So now this shape here, this L shape, is pretty short. And I might have turned my head a little too much, so actually my beard goes out even further to over here. And then there's a space. There's sort of, this space here is actually like a muscle, I'm pretty sure, or just fat in between muscles, so you kind of have that space. But I'm pretty sure it's muscle there. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna fill in some of this just to get an idea of how much space I've got to work with. And actually it stops here, but then it gets really thick back here. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna fill all of this up just to see what I'm working with. All right, so let's get back over here. I'm gonna actually finish the rest of my mouth and then get up to our eyes. And I think we'll be pretty good with facial features. I also have sort of like these little empty spots here. Empty spots in art or drawings are called negative spaces. and they also work as like facial hair. They're just big masses, either of empty space or shadow space, that will give you an idea of, like for example, this right here, this cheek here, that's a whole load of empty space. This eyeball, empty space. All of this up here, this is all empty negative space. It's just space that hasn't been activated, that you haven't really drawn on. This whole ear is negative space. But let's get back here to my mouth. All right, trying not to lift our pencil here. We're gonna go down a little bit. Sorry, I can't really talk and stream at the same time, or do this at the same time. But basically trying to get to the bottom of my lip here, and then we can go back and fix it. So let me just do it without talking. Okay, and now we can go back up. If you guys close your eyes a little bit, sort of blur it, you might see more lines that you can pick up. We've got my boy Brian in the chat. Thanks for listening. What's going on? Doing well. Have to work. Thanks. All right. Good luck with work, man. Let me just check. Have to work, but we'll. Oh, I really appreciate, man. I really appreciate the donation. Thank you so much, Brian. That's so nice. Says drawing's looking dope, but I think it's okay. This is our first drawing on stream, so hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully I can do more, and yeah, man. So 5 people watching, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to whatever channel. If you guys are on Facebook, I welcome you guys to check out the YouTube Nelly INKS, Nelly space Inks on YouTube, or Twitch, twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. All right, so let's finish the lips. Okay, now when I come here to the bottom of my lip, there's a little space, just a sort of like, I'm not lifting my pencil, but that mark is so little that you won't even notice it. But it's sort of like your bottom eyelashes, where you sort of see this empty space like you see up here. So just under my lip, I have the same sort of empty space, and it's pretty much a straight line. And now I'm just gonna fill. Actually, I'll do this with the third and last part, the rest of my facial hair. So I'm just gonna follow these lines back up, and I fill in my nostril a little bit there. And then we go up, and I think I might have moved a little bit here, but we're okay. And then come up here to my eyes, and trying to see where the bridge of the nose is and what the space from the bridge of my nose to the tear duct here that we had. The tear duct is another sort of great point that you can use when you're actually getting into the details of your face. So when you're doing the outline, the ear is a very good place to start. When you're doing facial features, your tear duct is a good spot to start with. So up here, I'm just coming to the side of the bridge of my nose. I just want to gauge what this distance is. Make sure I get it correctly. So looks pretty good from how I'm doing it. And then without lifting your pencil, or without lifting my pencil, I'm going to go shading a little bit and just getting over to my eyebrows, which are pretty flat on this side. Pretty flat, actually. You might notice that I'm sort of turning my wrist very hard to do like this with as a righty. So I have to come across here. All right, another 5 minutes. I like to draw with a timer, just so that I know I'm being productive. So we come up here and then come to the side. You might actually, yeah, it comes to the side over here. This area over here is the top of your brow ridge. And it goes down a little bit. Cool. So that's the side of your eye. You might notice you have there's sort of like this flap for the top of your eye. And you might notice that there's sort of like a shadow shape too. So I'm going to actually just connect the shadow shape to my eyelashes so I can see this negative space here. Okay. So we connect to my eyebrows and then we go up. I'm doing the line here for my the start of my eyelids, and then it goes up. Keep in mind sort of that empty space here between the top of your eyelash and your eyebrows, and then we go down. Cool. And that meets up with your the bridge of your nose there. Cool. Now we can go retrace, go back. Maybe, yeah, let's go back to follow that line again. Go back to the outside of your eye. Now that line runs into that line runs into your eyelashes, or for me it does. And that space between the eyelashes and the eyelid is even smaller than the empty space between the eyebrow and the eyelid. So we're gonna go across. Okay. And now I have this sort of wedge up here. There's an empty space right there that I'm gonna try to maintain. And now we are working into our tear duct. Try to make sure those, if your head is in a tilt, then those two tear ducts, maybe it'll be, if you're looking at it straight, it's going to be like this, if you're looking at the webcam. But I'm kind of like a little tilted, so your tear ducts might be a little tilted like that. So just make sure you're looking at that as you're working with the mirror. So maybe you're a little tilted like this, like that. Just try to maintain this sort of relationship. If you're a little tilted, then you want to try to maybe lower that tear duct. And now I've connected that to the bottom of my eye. And then we go down and around. And right here, my eyelashes. There's actually a little more space over here on this side. So maybe I've made that eye a little too big. It actually looks a little big. So I'm gonna move it over and then maybe erase a little bit. I encourage you guys to keep erasing as you're working. Okay. Not 100% perfect, but that's okay. Just try to maintain those sort of like empty spaces. Now what I'm doing here is again this sort of line. What I think we're seeing is just the top of your bottom eyelid there, and then you sort of just outside of it you have the bottom eyelashes. So I'm gonna make those marks here. Cool. And now we can go back up and around and connect it here to the bridge of my nose. And then right here, like I said, I haven't gotten too much sleep last night, so you kind of see the your eye socket here. I have a pretty strong line. I've always had it even if I do get rest. So I'm gonna do that. Cool. So, final thing. What else can I say? I also have sort of this shadow here, and I'm gonna wrap up this part of my features and fill this in. Cool. And I'll show you guys how to um, do your pupils just so they look accurate. All right, so I have this. I'm going to go back up, and depends how you want to do this. I would try to make these lines as light as possible so that you have, it would suck to get to this point in your drawing and then you make your pupils too dark, but then you're either, your eyes are looking the different directions. So um, look into the mirror, try to keep your eyes where they are, and build out maybe the first circle for your pupils, and try to keep in mind whether it's closer to the top of your top eyelid, or there's normally going to be a little space between the bottom of your pupil and the bottom of your eyelid. So I'm going to maintain that space as I'm working this circle out. Also keep in mind the distance between the outside of your pupil and over here, which is the tear duct. And I think I've pretty much done well to do that. And then just start filling it in very lightly, probably lighter than any other mark you have on your drawing. Okay, so we'll do that. And you might have a glare too. We can worry about those details later. But just fill it in so slightly that you can get an idea that someone's sort of looking back. Cool. And I'm just gonna darken a little bit just so I can see the bottom of that. All right. Cool. So now you have my permission to lift your pencil if you want to get over to your other eye and try to do the same thing. Go over here. You could even just make a contour. You can even just, with straight lines, I'm sort of doing little zigzags here. This area here is just another, if you squint a little bit, you'll see sort of like the bit of that shadow. There's sort of like, I'll do it over here on this side. It sort of looks like that. And that's just a muscle between, as you do that, you can see it a little better between your eyes. So that's what I'm doing over here. And then you come back up. And I'm just sort of filling some of these shadows here. I don't think we'll do too much of that before I take my break. But let's go to your other eye over here. And I would have probably done a lot more erasing here just to get the eyes looking okay. But that's fine. I'm not the most realistic artist, so I don't mind a little asymmetry. But again, try to position your eye how it was before, and thinking about the space between your tear duct and the outside area of your pupil. Start making that circle there, thinking about the space between your pupil and your bottom eyelid, and coming back around. And then think of the space between the outside of your pupil and the outside of your eye over here. So since at this point we've drawn for so long, go ahead and fill it in very lightly so that when you erase, if you need to erase it, you will, if you need to erase it, you'll be able to. All right. So I'm going to erase some of this space over here. And then try it again. All right. At this point, you can probably not rely too much on the mirror and just try to set your eyes however they look best. If you're working lightly, you'll be able to erase. Okay. And then you can even make a darker circle in the middle to show where you're exactly where you're looking. Cool. All right, so I'm not making any lines too much darker in case I want to erase at the end of this drawing. What I'm gonna do next is drink some water, and I'll be working on the rest of the facial hair and the hair pretty much. And I think I'll be done. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks to Brian, Robin, Victoria, Kristen. Bale is amazing on Twitch. Linda, Ramon, Grace, everyone for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Hit the YouTube bell icon to get notifications. If you guys are on Twitch, make sure you follow the stream. If you guys are on YouTube or on Facebook, hit the thumbs up as well. Let me know you guys like the content. And I'm Nelly. This is Nelly INKS. All right, let's get back to these messages. Okay. Get back down. Cool. Great. All right. Actually, let me just make sure. Sorry, guys. All right. Tell your friends. Make sure you, if you like this content, share the channel with your friends and social media. If anyone wants to follow me, learn how to draw, we're going to be doing how-to videos. This is our second stream, real first official stream, first time we're drawing on stream. So a little funny to do so with paper because I think the best art streams have just used digital like tablets and apps. But that's okay. I think this is fine. You'll get the general idea. And plus, I don't know, if you're not a professional artist, you might not have a tablet that you draw on because those get pretty expensive anyways. So under quarantine, we have pencil hopefully, and we have, if not a pencil, then we have a pen, and we have paper. Hopefully we have a mirror in our bathroom, and you two can draw. Otherwise, if you're on your computer, you could go to your webcam, turn it on, and use that as a mirror as well. All right, let me get back into it. I guess I could do a little shading on this. Hold on a second. Okay. Just gonna raise my camera here a little bit. Okay, because I have big hair, you're gonna have to see. Well, all right. Sorry, let me raise it a little bit. This project should be pretty quick and easy. The idea is not to lift your pencil while you're doing this. I just had to because I'm teaching and... Okay, and taking breaks in the middle. Cool. I think that's okay. How big do I need to make my hair anyways? I think that's fine. Cool. Let's get into it, man. Hold on a second. Nelly's a thirsty boy. All right. So last time on drawing with Nelly, where were we? Totally forgot. We were shading this. We came up and around. We can pretty much go. Let's go. I've got these headphones on right now. All right. Anyways, let's go back to this area around our ear. And we sort of had. I can probably erase some of this here. There's sort of a little space between my beard. There's a little space between my beard and my ear. So I'm going to go up, make some space for the ear hole. What's that shape? It's sort of like a D. Sometimes it helps if you give names to the shape you're drawing. So maybe my ear hole here kind of looks like a D. So if you just say that and draw a D, you're most likely going to get the shape you want. The same cannot be said about your hair though. So everyone's got specific hair. Maybe I'll do a drawing up here. Maybe this is your head and you've got Giles hair, which is like that. Okay. My hair is a little more like this. Okay. I'm kind of getting into my drawing here a little bit. We'll come back down. Or, I don't know, maybe you have long hair like this. And here's your neck. This top mark here, where exactly your hair stops. If you go too far, it might look funny. It's actually a little closer. There's not that much space between your forehead and the top of your head. But my hair extends further out than that. And this is where, if we go back to the beginning of the video, you can put a piece of tape down on your mirror to mark the place of the top of your hair. So I would probably have a piece of tape right up there. Cool. It's about as much space between the top of my forehead and my eyebrows up here. So where we were before, let's go back to the ear. We can find our way around. Could pretty much find your way around the drawing using one line. So let me do this. And I'll just hold this here. So now I can see my neck. And when I go down, this is where you have to get a little fancy with the line. So right here, we're just going to be keep in mind just sort of like, as you go out, think about these shapes. Like if you were to draw a line, if you were to stop and draw a straight line to the top of your ear, think about in the mirror, does that shape, this shape right here, this triangle shape, does that sort of fit the shape that's in the mirror right now? These are some of the things you might want to ask yourself. And then we get there. You want to try to also get the average, especially when we're doing these contour lines. We're not going to get every little hair follicle or anything perfect like that, or we'll never finish our drawing. What's most important is that if you were to get the average of all these lines, you might get something like this. You can see that, and you guys can see that, okay? So I stopped here because it lines up with the top of my ear, and this is pretty much the furthest point from my hair. Okay, and what also helps a lot too is if you squint, because your hair is so dark, if you squint, you'll see that shape even better. It kind of filters out the light the more you squint, and you just get sort of like solid colors when you squint. So this angle is actually a little too far. I'm gonna bring it in, give myself a little bit of a haircut, and just keep following. And now we're here. We're lined up to the side of our eye. We're gonna keep climbing as we meet our eyebrows. Now, as I get up here to where my temple is, excuse me, just had lunch. So where your temple is, you want to think about how big this space is right here. Right there, okay? So keep climbing, keep climbing. There's not really much of an angle. I guess there's a little bit of an angle as I come in from the outside of my hair. And then we can keep climbing. Oh gosh, I'm gonna fix my hair on the spot. Okay. So now we start getting closer. And I think I went a little too wide. Okay. Think about this space here. How far from the top of your head is your hair? It kind of goes in the way I have it coiffed. And then I have some sort of like Star Fox looking thing going on up here. I don't know what's happening up there. Some white hairs here, and then we come back down. Cool. And now think of how far from here. We're always using our forehead, especially our forehead, because those are pretty much on, there's very little skin between that and the base of your skull on your forehead. So those are always good points to look at. The closer you get to a bone, the more you're kind of getting to the foundation. Everyone's bones pretty much have the same structure. So if you use the bone, you're pretty much getting to the source, a very accurate point, a point that doesn't really change between person to person. So that's why we use skeletal points. All right, so let's keep going out so we can wrap this up. Think about how far out. I'm going to be thinking about how far out this point is to the side of my head. And maybe you don't want to go exactly to the tips, because if you're like me, my tips are sort of frayed and you don't really get an accurate representation. But if you stop sort of before where your hair splits and does all that, then you'll get a very accurate, solid line. So like this base here is just all sort of like hair that's just doing something. But if I go down here, that's all pretty much solid. So keep going down. Now as I get down here to my eyes, my hair comes back and I'm gonna wrap this up here. And then it meets my mouth. A little lower than it's supposed to be, but I think that's fine. So for the sake of this drawing, go back around and define. Don't have any of these lines here. That doesn't really look very good. So I'm gonna redefine it, make a more solid line. As we come around, might have to erase my guile here. Okay, now I can put my headphones back on. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. That's better. Cool. Voila. So now you're there. I'm pressing down on my pencil just so I can have a set location for all of these. This drawing should be pretty quick, so don't don't labor over the details. And the idea of not lifting your pencil is so that you just get a line down and don't think too much about it. You might actually want to do this project the first time with a pen so you don't erase. And then when you do it again, you can do it with a pencil. I'll forgive you. So I'm just going to go around. The idea is to, if you don't lift your pencil, is that you just go with the first line and that you trust it. You kind of have to trust yourself with the pencil before you start making drawings that you like for yourself. So now I'm just going to wrap up. I'm going to do sort of my collar here. If I come around, there's sort of like a shadow shape that is a very strong line following my throat here. And then there's sort of like a triangle actually. So it stops right here, the base of my neck. And if I go up, it hits the side of my nose. And then it goes back up. And once I do this, we can actually just work on some shadow shapes. So we go down and here, back here. All right, Paola in the chat, Robin in the chat. Thank you guys. Throw up the fire emojis, chat. Throw up the fire emojis. All right, so we're just gonna fill this in. Okay, cool. So we're pretty much there. I look kind of funny, but that's our first drawing for you. Okay, so let me take this off. I'm just gonna finish my neck collar here, so I know where my drawing ends. All right, if I just do it with one single line, don't worry about making mistakes the first time. And then as we go up here, all of this is sort of shadows as well. All right, so I guess for this drawing, you might not be completely satisfied. Maybe you're happy with your drawing, but you want to do something a little bit more with it. And that might just be filling out some of these shapes with a tone or with some shadows. Maybe you're a painter or you're a fan of color and you want to learn a little bit how you would fill in some of these shapes. What I'm going to do is switch over to a darker pencil. This is my Blackwing. I've been drawing with my Ticonderoga. So if I were to, so when I shade, here. So when I draw, most people draw like this with their fingers at the very end of the pencil. What we normally do in art school is put your fingers, same shape, I guess, but just push the pencil until you get to the very tip of it like this. And now with some wrist strength, with a little bit of that, with this sort of zigzag shape, you can start shading. So here on my drawing, I'll do it over here. And look at how far, I think you'll be able to see, look at how far I have my fingers to the tip of the pencil there. So using the sort of zigzag shape, you can start shading like this. And I'm going so fast you can't even see it, but that's the idea. You don't want to do this when you're shading, because then none of these empty spots read like light, but this whole thing right here, that reads like a shadow. This doesn't read like a shadow because you have these empty white spots. But if you, let's say you have a shape like this, which is, let's say it's a shadow that looks like a square, then you want to zigzag through it. and try to keep those zigzags as close to each other, those lines as close to each other, and then you can go ahead and fill out anything that's not filled out. Cool. In that same way, so that was my Ticonderoga, which is HB. HB is basically, so if you get a pencil in the art store and it says 4H, that means that it's hard, and you can just think of it as all right, got my bro in the chat. Thanks for listening. All right, stay safe, everybody. Please stay indoors. The stuff is crazy out there. Seems like it's very contagious. So stay indoors if you can. If you go out, make it important. You know, whether you're going to the grocery store or you're getting some quick exercise. But yeah, wear gloves if you go out. Wear a mask, especially if you're in the city like I am. But yo, bless up to everybody in the chat. Thanks for listening and joining. So if you go to the art store, when we used to go to the art store, when before all of this was going down, you might get a pencil that is a H pencil. It goes up to like 6H. So the H means hard, and just think of it as like the higher the number, if it's 6H, then that's the hardest pencil to draw with. That would mean that every line you draw up here, or maybe I'll put over here. Every line you draw is going to look this faint pretty much. It's going to be, even if you press really hard, that might be as dark as you get. But with the HB or with a 2H, let's say with a 2H, this line, if you do it with a 2H pencil, it might look something like that. Might be darker. So this line up here would maybe be a 6H, and this line would be somewhere between a 4H and a 2H. Okay. But the HB on this side of the spectrum as opposed to this other side. But you could play around. You could make a rectangle like this, and over here you're gonna make your darkest mark, just without scratching the paper. If you press down like that, that's just gonna ruin your paper. And the more you draw, the more likely you'll spend money on good paper. But if you scratch it like this, and your paper's pretty much doomed. So you try to get dark without. If you start scratching your paper, then it's maybe time to move up a grade. And so, like I said, you have pencils from 6H to 2H, and then you have HB, and then you move over to the B. The B, think of it as black. The higher the number in front of the B means the darker it gets. So if you have a 2B, then it's going to be darker than an H as a 2H. But if you have a 6B, that thing is going to be almost like charcoal. It's going to show up very dark. This would probably be, oh, let me do it up here. Nope, not there. That's going to be like a 12B. That's going to be like a 6B or something, or higher, as opposed to my black wing. If I make it a little dark, this is maybe like you can't really see on the camera, but this is maybe like a 4B compared to my Ticonderoga HB right here. So with that being said, I'm going to move over to my black wing. My black wing is pretty cool because it has this cool eraser that you can take out and replace. But it's cool because it's also very soft, and it lets you it gives you pretty much a big range. As opposed to the Ticonderoga, you can't really get too dark, and you can only get so light. But with this dark pencil, the Blackwing, you can still be pretty light like the Ticonderoga, but it lets you get even darker than the Ticonderoga pencil. So that's that. Okay. So the idea here, I'm going to fill out all of these empty spaces with a color. So if you're looking in the mirror, more likely than not. If even if you squint a little bit, it might help darken your hair a little bit. And this shape here for my hair is a complete different darker color than I'm gonna just do this over here. Then it's gonna be a completely different color than the color of my skin. So I'm gonna go ahead very lightly and maintaining sort of these boundaries as lightly as I can, but still. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on twitch.tv/Nelly INKS, make sure you guys hit the follow. Make sure you subscribe. If you're in the chat, make sure you comment. Shout yourself out. Let me know you guys are listening. And if you like the content, you can always support this channel by donating, going to Venmo. Find me at Nelly INKS, or if you have Cash App, you can donate as well by hitting $Nelly INKS. I would truly appreciate it. Also, I've got my website where you can find my latest work, Almighty Alma. It's my comic. It's available online for free. If you guys want to support, like I said, you can donate, and there's links on my website, Nelson A. Nunez, Nunez, Nelson A. Nunez, and you guys can go there, read the comic for free, donate if you like the content, let me know. Otherwise, you can get that comic delivered through the website. So let me know if you guys do that. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, just stick around, listen to the last few instructions of this drawing video. And I think I've been live for a while, guys. This has been a minute. Let me see. 91 minutes ago. All right. Cool. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good on the YouTube here. Not gonna lie. Holy. All right. Doesn't look too bad, actually. All things considered, I definitely see the how useful having a tablet though would be. You guys would be able to see this drawing a lot better, but whatever. This is Guile right here. This is Guile. America. I don't know. Does he have a widow's peak like that? I don't know. Anyways. All right, so let's wrap this up here. Hold on a second. Get over to OBS. Okay. Make sure you guys shout yourself out in the chat section. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, donate to the channel via the links provided on my stream, at Nelly INKS on Venmo, or $Nelly INKS via the Cash App. Now, if you were doing this, you might actually be following the direction, but since it's pretty solid, a pretty solid color here, so but you can pretty much see which way the lines are going. If I really wanted to pay attention to it, maybe I'd actually have these lines going the direction that the hair is going. That's probably a video for another time, but for now, just try to solidly, and you probably don't need all of this actually, but I'm gonna just do it now that I've started. I'm gonna do this a little faster actually. Cool. Where it's really gonna count. So I've established that my hair is probably the darkest thing. So nothing is gonna get darker than this. And I'll probably need to darken it even more actually. So without scratching your paper, maybe if you have hair the color of mine, then you probably want to make it pretty dark without scratching your paper, because that's gonna probably be the darkest thing on my drawing. I probably won't have any shadows on my drawing that are gonna be much darker than this. Maybe like my, I gotta get my terms correct. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, yeah, your iris, the dark spot of your eye. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. The eye's iris. Cool. So the iris will probably be the darkest thing. The color of my eye will probably be the same color as my hair. But let's get back into it. Finish this drawing. And like I said, I started off trying to do it this way. I'm gonna just, you'll get more whatchamacallit, you'll get more flexibility if you just if you put your pencil like this. Instead of holding it like this, hold it on the end, and you'll really be able to get those painterly strokes. And you can do that even faster. All right. Just gonna keep going across here. Try to wrap this up in the next, let's see. I'm gonna put on a 10-minute timer. Like I said, I like timers, just so I'm not wasting time. Cool. Okay, make sure you guys share this channel with your friends and social media. I'm gonna be trying to do live streams every day. Hopefully this one might already be 2 hours long. So we'll try to match that tomorrow. Maybe we'll do another one of these videos, show you a different way that you could do a self-portrait if you really want to get into the shading and trying to get realistic drawings. This is close enough, I guess. How we did this drawing was without, it's a contour drawing. We didn't lift our pencil when we did it. All right, get all that down. Lost in sort of your order, because different shadows have a different value, have different strength. So for now, if you've done your hair in this sort of strength, then try to maintain that. Either if you get too light, it's not going to read as shadow, it's just going to maybe just read as light. But if you get too dark, you're gonna be your order of your order is just gonna go out of place. So just keep the shadows the same color, and what's good about that is that you'll be able to, if you don't go too dark with your pencil, since we got a darker pencil, we shouldn't go too dark, so that'll give us some headroom. What's good about that is that after you do your base shadow, then you can go on top of it and get even darker, and you'll have flexibility to maybe, draw shapes into your shadows like that. All right. So let's see what actually let's finish the beard here. Let's just do this without getting too crazy about it. And I'm closing one eye. It kind of works like when you squint, it kind of just helps blur your vision a little bit. So right now I'm just attacking the shadows and the dark masses, the darkest masses and the pretty much the darkest shadows that I have. Okay. And I'm gonna actually darken this even more. Okay. Cool. All right. And let me take my headphones off a little bit again. Just want to get the right color of the neck muscles here. So this is all pretty dark. And then since I have a light over here, on my left over here, there's a shadow sort of raking across this way. If I'm squinting right now because I don't have the best lighting setup, so I can't play around too much. But pretty much comes up to here, and for some reason there's sort of like this is a different color than this area here. Might be too dark. Okay. Cool. Another thing, since we established the light source and it's on our left side, all of this is going to be lighter than the other side of your face. Basically, how you can do that, if you just basically draw a ball, and I draw the midline to show which direction that ball is looking. You guys can maybe see it like this. Okay, so that ball is facing just a little bit to the left. If I have a light source coming in that way, then it's fair to say that this is all going to be in shadow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to treat my face the same way. Actually, let's just start with the ear because that's this area here is all in shadow. Okay, so there's that. Actually, this whole thing is pretty much in shadow. So I did my ear hole first, but you can pretty much just scrape across too just to get that overall shape darkened down. So it's going to read like shadow, and then there's going to be an even stronger shadow in there. And I think you guys can see sort of that. Okay, cool. All right. Amarilis, how's it going? Hola, ¿cómo estamos hoy? Viva mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? All right. So, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, and follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. Let's get back to the drawing. Sorry, let me get back to the chat actually. There we go. And here. Boom. Cool. So, starting with where we started, our ear, I basically shaded all of this down. I got a little too ahead of myself and I made a darker mark here for my ear. Nice. Hola prima, hola, ¿cómo estamos? All right. Cool. So the thing you'll notice especially if you guys saw the mirror, this line here is not is darker on my drawing. It's darker than my beard. My beard is a lot darker than this shadow here. So I'm going to, right next to it, I'm just going to try to make this even darker. And that's going to probably be the darkest thing. I'm not going to get too dark, but I'm just going to key it in. Keying something in means that you just sort of place it down just so that I'm not going to finish the job. I'm just going to make a note of it. Keying something is just pretty much making a note of it, and then I'll go back into it, you know, and then I'll get, because out here, outside of my ear, so we have this little shadow for the ear hole, and then you have the skin of your ear, which is also in shadow, so we shaded it down. But then directly outside of it, where you start seeing my hair, that's darker than both of those shapes there. So that should be pretty dark as my beard at least. It might actually be darker, but for the purpose of this video, we're gonna just stick with maybe 3 or 4 tones. So we have our darkest tone, a sort of 2 mid tones here for your shadows, and then your darkest tone, which is your hair, and then the color of the paper, so that's 4. The darkest tone, the color of your paper, and then 2 types of shading there. Cool? All right, so let's get into it. All right, so we're going to keep moving up. That's 10 minutes. All right, maybe put another 10 minutes on and wrap this up. So basically, I'm just going to find the darkest darks. So my eyebrow needs to really come down. I'm going to start on the side that's the darkest. So over here. Sorry, I'm going to put these headphones back on. Cool. And then that's fine. Then as we come across, this is the right color for that shadow. And then as we get here, this is all pretty much a shadow shape. You guys can, like I said, you guys can name your shapes and that'll help. This sort of looks like an arrow, I guess. That kind of has this shape here. Like that. So we go down and it kind of gets darker here. And it lines up to this line here. That's my, that is, can I get into this? We're getting closer. Sorry guys, hold on. Cool. So yeah, the line here for your eyelid, sometimes you'll have a line and you'll have a line, let's do it over here. You might have a line on your drawing somewhere where part of that line gets dark and then it gets lighter and then maybe it'll get dark again. So that's another way that you can add emphasis and volume to your drawing. So like it happens here, I guess there's maybe a little more folding on my eyelid there, but then the rest of this, it's a little thicker too, I guess. And then I guess these other lines are pretty dark, but a little more thin. So keep in mind how dark your lines are supposed to be. Over here, same thing. So pretty thin, not very dark, but then you get up to the eyelashes and then yeah, you want to get pretty dark. So we're getting a little carried away with the details. I just want to sort of drive that point home. And then we can get pretty dark with our our eyes. I'm still going to do that pretty lightly so I don't mess around with the structure that I have for my tone, my values. Cool. So let's just keep working with let's keep working with big general shapes and fill in very lightly. I like kind of like this color that I have here for my hair. I'm going to fill in all my shadows like that. So working on the area like here on my ball, that's all in shadow. We're gonna work the shadow area of my face. So if I squint a little bit, I can see the bridge of my nose, and I can see this side is pretty dark and goes out, and this gets pretty dark over here, and then over here, and then out. And then at this point I might as well get my eye sockets pretty dark, so we show that we didn't get too much sleep last night. Boom, go up here. And get out here. And not too dark. And there's some light here in the middle, but then around it, it gets pretty dark as well. Again, we're working pretty lightly. Cool. And then as we go up here, there's a sort of like a light patch on the top of my eyebrow, but then it goes in here, and this whole area there is pretty dark too. Like that. Alright, so this is sort of some wrinkles on my face. Okay. I think I exaggerated a little bit that shadow, but that's fine. Alright, so this, I'm going to sort of make a shape for the light on the shadow part of my face. And it basically follows my cheek structure. So you'll see I'm going to draw this line. That line is where I can feel the bottom of my cheekbone. Okay. And it kind of just goes into here. And there's, if I squint, I can see it going out here, kind of forming a little triangle, but more of a square, like a rhombus. And then I'm just going to fill that up very lightly, knowing that that shape is not at all as dark as right now it is, but that shape is not supposed to be as dark as my beard. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias, muchas gracias. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in my beard a little darker so that I can differentiate. And it gets dark here, very bushy beard that we haven't shaved in this whole time. Okay. And go up here. Now, my mustache is pretty thin, but dark. So we want to make sure that our line work is the same as our facial features. So if you have like very thin mustache, then we want to make sure we have nice thin lines. This nostril can get darker. I think I got too wide for my nose here. Okay. Okay, if I squint, I know that this is still a little lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and going over all my shadows, I'm just going to darken it down a little bit and go right across this light portion here. There you go. Cool. So we've made everything a little darker. All right, I'm gonna wrap up here in a second. Cool. I'm going to darken down my upper lip with a solid color. Cool. You can use your finger to sort of blend some of these shadows in because they're not supposed to be that dark. Okay. And still, this area here should be darker, so I'm going to go ahead and darken these down so I know to go back later. And cool. All right. All right. So again, gonna open up the shape here. There's sort of like a highlight. Maybe it's sweat, but sort of like a highlight here, and that sort of reads like a light shape, so that's gonna stay. If I had a white chalk, you can use that to bring out some highlights, but we're gonna just use the white of the color of the paper um, to work as our light. So I'm going to just sort of block out that area so that I know not to touch it, and then I could darken down these areas out here. And then I might have to darken again this area, but that's pretty light, so I think you see the difference. Cool. So now I'm just going to blur a little bit. All right. With your finger, you can just do that so your mark making isn't so obvious. I'm going to darken again. Actually, let's wrap up. Oops, 10 minutes are done. So yeah, let's wrap up our shadow forms here. Finish out this. Finish out the shadows under my eyes. Coming around. Here. Here. Cool. This back here should be pretty dark. My neck muscles back there is pretty dark. All of this can get pretty dark. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, or else I'm going to ruin the tonal structure that I have going on. Okay. Let's see, what else am I missing? This line, I want to make sure I don't lose it. I have some shadow under my eyebrow there. Cool. I'm gonna try to make this a little darker. All right, we're almost there. Make this eye a little darker too. I don't like what I just did there. Okay. Cool. All right. How's your drawing coming along? If you guys are drawing with me, let me know. If you like the contents of this video and you want to support this channel, you could do so by going to the Venmo at Nelly INKS, the Cash App, $ Nelly INKS. Go to my website and you can read my latest comic, my first comic, The Almighty Alma. It's about a time-traveling female vigilante. It's available for free on my website, Nelson A. Nunez, Nelson A. Nunez, without the tilde, NelsonANunez.com, NelsonANunez.com. You can read this comic. If you want to order it, you can do so by the links provided on my website. I think it's about $12 plus shipping. But yeah, you can do so. Otherwise, read it online for free. And if you want to support, you can donate through the Venmo and the Cash App. If you're watching on YouTube slash Nelly space inks, you can find me there. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Follow me on Twitter at Nelly INKS. I'm on Facebook. I'm on twitch.tv slash Nelly INKS. And let's wrap this up. I'm trying to think what's the brightest part. I think this side of my forehead should be, I'm just going to erase a little bit right above my eyes there. And then sort of like this cheekbone is really defined, so I'm going to define the heck out of that. Cool. So I keep going down. I'm going to darken my beard a little bit. Very important how to darken your beards, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Everything else can probably go down in value a little bit. I'm sort of making these lines going down because it's sort of like following the line. I mean, it's the bottom of my nose, so to show that it is the bottom of your nose, you can sort of make lines going down. For example, over here, if I have a ball and let's say this is all in shadow, then I maybe want to make marks that are going like this. Okay, and that's your shadow shape. So these marks all have a sort of angle to them, which is following the contours of that ball. But when you fill it in, you might not see it too much. But in isolated areas like your nose, you can definitely see it. I'm squinting again just to see what value this is supposed to be here. And hit this up a little bit. Hit this up. Cool. All right. Hit this right there. Let's see, what else am I missing? My lips. All right. Trust you are I in the Twitch chat says, "Hi Nelly, what's up? Trust you are I. Thanks for joining us." Sorry, I had some afro in the webcam there. Thank you so much for joining. Just doing a quick, well, quick. We've been drawing for like an hour here. Never ends. Let's check. We've been on for 2 hours. Can you believe it? True. Oh. Make sure you stay hydrated. Woo! Sorry, I'm dying. All right. Let's wrap this up. Cool. So I'm gonna take my. I don't know if those those the shorthand works like that. Uptime. I think I need to set it up. Sorry, I'm dying. Not sure if that's gonna work, but if you have any suggestions on setting up your Twitch channel, Trust Yuri, then yeah, you can let me know. I'm not sure if uptime works because I'm not really sure how to set that up. Did the virus get me? It might have actually gotten me. Right there, I don't know what just happened. I'm becoming a man, so my voice is cracking. But Hold on a second. Oh, wow. My trusty sidekicks comes in with more water. Thank you. Oh, so nice. No, that's fine. I don't mind. I like a little banter, but no, I actually got sick there. Um, on March 10th, I came down with something. Never had quite a fever. Never had a cough really that lingered too long. But obviously, testing is hard to come by, and normally they just tell you to stay at home. So we might have just had it and it never became serious, but for other people, it's becoming a big problem, especially as the hospitals are filling out. So hopefully, you guys are doing well in the chat. Appreciate it. True story. True story. True story. Thank you. True story. Okay, I got you. I got you, bruh. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Trust True Story and Integra VTech. Damn. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I'm pretty much done. The only other things I would say, I've already isolated the light parts on my face. This area here is probably the brightest thing. Over here gets pretty dark. This cheek this cheek is not really the same color as this cheek with the way I have the light set up. So I'm not going to touch this anymore. That's going to work as the lightest part of my face. Everything else, true, true story is a woman, not a bruh. Yes. But yeah, so knowing that this is the lightest part, I'm not going to touch it. Same thing with basically this highlight on my nose. I'm not going to touch it. But once you've established the lightest portions of your face, a beautiful, talented, bright, spicy woman. Yeah, if you guys, if you have a channel, True Story, go follow them, follow her. I do a little painting, but I'm not a painter. She has some art as well. Yeah, go check them out after this channel, after this stream. Um, I normally work in pencil, obviously, but I work in mostly in pen and ink, like this comic, black and white, pen and ink, Sumi ink, Japanese ink. If you guys go to Nelson A. Nunez, you guys can read that comic. It's available for free if you guys want to donate. The link is in there. Venmo, Cash App, or you guys can also just get this delivered to you. There's links there. True Story says, I am new to the app, but I paint in acrylics. That's cool. That's awesome. I need to figure out the best setup for this. I think this has worked pretty well as the drawing comes along. Trying to meet cool people. Yes. I'll have to check out the channel and see how you have your setup. I think the easiest way really is to set up a tablet and just draw on the tablet. Follow back and check my stream when you can. Yes, sir. Will do. Yes, ma'am. Hi. All right. Let's wrap this up, though. Can't be here too long. Almost 4 o'clock on the East Coast. And I haven't stepped outside. Can you believe it? Let me get back to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting to the end of the stream. Cool. So to wrap this up, I know that these are the lightest spots on my face. So anything like the lips, this is also a different color than this color here. Sometimes if you have like a white spot and then you squint, you might notice that this is actually a different tone or a different color. So you might actually just want to fill that out as well. There's some highlights actually though, so I'll try to keep true to that. But otherwise, my top lip is darker, so I'm just going to go over that for the one time. One time for the one time. That should be pretty good, I think. I'm going to go over it one more time. This time I'm going over my mustache into my lips so you can see it a little better. And I mean, you could spend hours and hours and hours on a drawing. This isn't even a big drawing, but yeah. Also, when you close your mouth, if you have overlapping parts, you might have a darker, like a shadow here on the contours. So I'm going to just darken those down even more. Let me see if that shows up on the stream. Yeah, cool. So also keep in mind that your line weight, this dark line doesn't go all the way. Yeah, it does a little bit here. And then over here, boom. Okay, and then this gets a little darker too. And then all of this is pretty dark. I'm going to just shade all of this down too. Even though this is skin, it's not as bright as this part over here. So I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. Try to get to the end of this drawing ASAP. Darken down these beard hairs. All of this can get pretty dark. Oh, I never said what I wanted to say. So knowing that these are my brightest spots, I can go ahead and darken this whole area here that I haven't even touched, just because none of it's gonna be as bright as like the highlight on my nose or my cheeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and going over the shadows that I had there before. I'm just going to darken it down. So I've got plenty of tones actually going on. I thought I was just going to stick with 4. I might have extra here. That's pretty good. The more you squint, the closer this tone on my neck gets to the tone of the beard, but still not exactly. And you don't want to squint the whole time because it's better you'll get more resolution if you have your eyes open, obviously. But let's revisit some of these shadows. Like I said with the ball example, you can follow the contours using your hatch marks. The back over here is a little darker. Following the contours of my neck. And then going around. Okay. Let's see. My beard is pretty dark over here. I'm pretty much at the end of the road when it comes to shading with this Blackwing pencil. I can't really get too much darker without ruining my page. So I recommend you guys, if you get to that point, unless you have a darker pencil, that's pretty much where you're at without ruining your paper. So I'm going to go ahead and darken this area here for my hair. This all can get pretty dark. Let me just go up here. All right. If you guys are still watching, let me know what you guys want to see next. We could do another self-portrait, and I can show you guys how we do these in art school, for example, how we normally set up our drawings. The way, maybe I could do it here. So we did this self-portrait without lifting our pencil in the beginning. So we had something like this, where if you're doing this quick, your contour drawing might look something more like this. But if you've been doing this as long as I've been doing this on stream, then you can make your contour drawing look like this finished drawing that I have here. But the idea is not to lift your pencil and just try to hone in on the shape really and the line work. So something like that would be a contour drawing. Tomorrow, maybe I can show you guys how we normally do drawings when it comes to a more fine art sort of drawing, where maybe I would work with straight lines like that, sort of the mask of my face, and then using different points to show where my facial features are. Maybe I'll do that. And then use shadow shapes. And it's going to be a little more tone based. But that's for another day. Right now, let's stick with the drawing we have here. I'm going to darken. I'm not going to darken my hair to the true color, but I'm going to do as much as I can, just so that I can have it down and I can go back one more time and see if there's anything that needs to be darkened down. Like this. Okay. All right, so as you look, you might see certain features, especially along the the sort of defined skeletal structure. So that's why I made this really sharp line here. But if I follow that contour up, I'm going to have the line here on my forehead that I can also highlight. Let's see if that shows up on the stream there. Cool. And you can basically go around. You're going to have a combination of blurry lines or sharp lines like this one. This one's like an example of a blurry line that I just made blurry. My hairline's going to be a little blurry because I've got curls going everywhere. If I go like that, maybe you could see a little sharper, but nothing is as sharp as this line here going around. This is a very sharp contour as well. And then it gets into my beard, so then it just kind of fuzzes out. What else can we do here? Darken the lines. I guess I can just darken the shapes and then call it a day. I'm going to darken the iris here because that might be pretty satisfying. And then maybe even use my eraser to take out some of the glare. You see that? Maybe that'll show up on stream. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so I'll do the same with the other eye, make it a little darker, and then make the iris dark like that. Oh, we've got people in the chat. Sorry, Augusto, el primo activo, Alex, Nelson, Alex, Amarilis, Tamara, ese es el nieto. Yes. Hola, mi sobrino. Blessings, bendición a todo el mundo. Espero volver a verte aquí. Tenga que mirar para arriba. Ok. Gracias por venir a todo el mundo. So let me wrap this drawing up. Sorry. Okay. So yeah. Going to use my eraser and just lift that highlight there. I think you guys can see it. This kind of looks funny here. I'm gonna darken this down, and I think this top eyelid can get pretty dark. because I have my eyelashes. And then up here, like that. Okay. All right. Actually, I guess the brightest part would be your eye, but we don't have a bit. Okay, let's see what else we have left. This can get pretty dark there. This can get pretty dark there. All right, still not as dark as maybe this hair should be. Oops. Okay. This hair down here can get pretty dark. Hmm. All right. This beard hair down here is pretty defined. I'm just gonna do that. Make pretty broad strokes here for my neck. This, my sad, tired eyes can get a little darker there as we come around. Boom. Bring this down. Boom. I'm gonna blur it a little bit. Okay. All right. Just some hatch marks there to fill out some of these areas. Cool. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to do one last thing that's always fun to do, and that is to go around the outline of your drawing and just darkening the sharp edges. So I'm just going to go down into the base of my neck, which gets a little blurry, so that doesn't have to get too defined. My neck beard needs some trimming. Make this dark. Let's see. Something about this right here. Looks a little blurry. And over here, looks a little blurry. Okay. And I think this top line could come down a little bit too. Okay. These nostrils can get pretty dark and defined. And then as we come up and around, and over here can be pretty defined as well. Make this dark. All right. Okay. I'm just going to shade this down a little bit so it doesn't really interfere with the color of my eye. And it's also just sort of throwing me off because this cheek is a little too dark. But I don't want to erase it because then it's just going to become a little obvious what happened there. So yeah, I'm just going to darken that. It's going to help too to darken it a little bit so that my nose pops out a little bit more. Figuratively speaking, pops out. My nose doesn't pop out. Let's see, what else do we have to do? This can go, oh yeah, so we were going out around the outline. So I follow my neck goes into the base, and then it wraps around. This line back here can get pretty dark because it's a sharp sort of edge. And then here, this is all going to be pretty artistic. There's really no rhyme or reason, especially with my hair. Just try to make the lines as curly as you can. If there's any features that stick out, go ahead and draw those in. Okay. Anything else that really needs my attention? Maybe this line up here for the mouth. Over here. Over here can get pretty dark. And maybe this line down here can get pretty dark as well. The more real the eyes look, I think the more real the overall drawing looks. So let's just wrap this up here by doing this. And it gets pretty dark back here. So, all right. Well, I think we've gotten to the end of this drawing. I think I'll take a break now. Don't have much else to give you guys today. Really appreciate the interaction for our first real drawing session, our second stream. If you guys are listening on Twitch, make sure you guys subscribe. Appreciate everyone watching and listening. You guys can also check me out on YouTube. If you could look up Nelly INKS, drawing with Nelly. Let me back out a little bit here. Oops. Hold on a second. Go back to OBS. All right. Not bad at all. This right eye looks a little funny, but that's okay. You know, we wanted to just get the drawing down and done. This is a little maybe too dark up here. Just gonna use my eraser to take some of the tone out. But yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys can go to nellyinks.com where you can find the Almighty Alma first edition. If you guys want to read it, you could do so online. And if you want to support this channel, you can donate. The links are on the website, Nelson A. Nunez, or you could hit the Venmo at Nelly INKS. You can hit the Cash App, $ Nelly INKS. If you want, you can also order Alma on my website, Nelson A. Nunez, for a small price, but you can get it delivered to you through the website. Anything else that I'm missing? twitch.tv/nellyinks, YouTube Nelly INKS. I'm on my Facebook right here. Thanks for everyone on Facebook that's watching, on Twitch everyone that's watching, on YouTube that everyone's watching. Make sure you comment, subscribe. On YouTube, hit the bell icon to get notifications for the next time we go live, or follow me on Twitch and you'll probably get notifications that way. And yeah, man, appreciate you all listening. Thanks to Sarah, Amarilis, Alex, Augusto, Trust Story, Integra, VTech. Who else we got in here? Robin, Grace, my bro, Paola, Brian, Victoria, Kristen, and Brooks are watching. Bale is Amazing was here. Linda's here. Ramon. And that's it. This is Nelly. Make sure you guys check out the comic book on nelsonaNunez.com. Donate to the channel if you want to support. And yeah, man, get yourself one of those comics if you like it. Maybe you want to own a copy. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what we do tomorrow. I'm going to try to be back at the same time. I think I started at 1:30 today, and now it's almost 4:19. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys learned a little something just by watching and whatever. Quick little contour drawing again. If I wanted to make a quick contour drawing of what my drawing is here, I would basically, I started with my ear, went down to my neck, go back up to my ear, follow my hairline, go to my forehead, then keep going down to my chin, stop, see how far from my chin I am to my ear, come back up, then I would meet all together, go to my eyebrows, up, down, the bridge of my nose, out to my nostril, fill that up, go back down to my lips, draw the shape of my upper lip here, and then go back down to my chin. Maybe I want to go back up and then connect my eyebrows to my other eyebrows, and then I'll go down. Simple shape for my eye, and then that, and we'll go back up. Another shape for my eye. Hold on. Another shape for my eye to do this. And then that, and going down again. We can start our facial hair here, all with the same line. Boom. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. All right. And then we can do it on this side. I haven't lifted my pencil yet. I'm going to just fill in that. And we can keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. And now maybe do some of these details here. Then we can go up. Me's in the chat. What's up, me? All right. And then we can do the hair, all using one line. I haven't lifted my pencil here. Let me give you a better shot of that. Okay. And then up, 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 down, whatever. My hair looks funny there. But that's basically the idea. If you guys can do that at home, otherwise rewind the video and you can see how I started this and how pretty much I didn't lift my pencil for any of it except for the shading. I do a combination of contour drawing and sort of a more fine art technique like with the straight lines, but we'll figure that out for future streams, what we're gonna do. I also want to provide lesson plans for kids if you have them at home. This is going to be a family-friendly stream. Today was a little self-portrait. You guys could do so at home with just a pencil, paper, and a mirror like this one here. Boom. And yo, this is Nelly INKS. Thanks for everyone that came through. Make sure you go to the website nelsonanunez.com so you could read Almighty Alma if you guys are fans of comics and you want to support. I appreciate the views. This is available digitally for free. You can go and donate to the channel via the Venmo at Nelly INKS or Cash App $Nelly INKS. And you can also go to nelsonanunez.com and order for delivery. This will come to your house. It's got a barcode on the back. And yeah, 17-page comic that I finished last summer. First time doing so. I have a reboot, an origin story for Alma coming up soon. I work mostly on pen and ink, so maybe I'll do some inking on stream, and you guys can learn how to ink a little bit. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow around the same time, 1:30. I'm gonna try to be active and get this stream going, guys. But that's it. I got no other promotion to give you guys, but appreciate you all listening. Soon to be Picasso, thanks to these lessons. Yes. All right. Everyone could become Picasso if they just follow this stream. All right. Appreciate everyone listening, everyone that came through. This is Nelly INKS. You guys have a good day. Stay safe. Stay inside, please. Don't spread any germs. Wash your hands. If you go out, cover your face, cover your hands. Don't touch anything, and just hold your breath really if you have to go outside. But yeah, man, hope everyone's doing well, being positive. This is Nelly. We'll be back tomorrow. Bless up.